Hi, in this video we're going to create a language translator. We're going to add a few more controls to our form so you can get an idea of how you can have multiple controls on your form and be able to manipulate them, get them to do some stuff. So start a new project. And again, I got to scroll down here and find the one. There we go. Okay, this one's going to be called, find it here just a second, language translator. Okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to go over to chapter 2, and I've got a lot of this stuff already in here. So what I'm going to do is create a new folder. I'm going to call this 2025. See, I already did a lot of these on here, so, and then that's where I'm going to put this one. And I could do a new folder on here. I think that's what I'll do. You don't have to, but if you do it, you'll have it in two folders on this. And that's the folder I'm going to use then for this. So there we go. Everything's set. Click on create. Okay, so if you look in your book, you can see, go to tutorial 2.3, and then I'm going to resize this a little bit here. And in the book also, they give you a listing of the different controls and what their control type is and what the property settings are. So the first one we're going to put on here, go to my toolbox, is we need an instruction label. So I'm going to go ahead and do a label, click on it twice. And remember, we want to have this as look kind of like what they have in the book on this. So this is going to go at the top here. And change a couple of settings. I'm going to change the, scroll up here, this is the beginning steps at the top here. I'm going to change the auto size here from true to false. What that does is give me control then of setting up the size that I want this to be. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the text in for this. Go down here where text is. And the text for this is going to be select a language, and I will say good morning. Okay. So that's in there now. Now, the text is kind of small. So I'm going to change the border style. Oh, wait a minute. That's the only thing that they do on here. So we'll go ahead and leave it that way. Okay, so I click off. I won't have a border around it or anything. It'll just be there on there like that. So we also want to label this. We're going to have our output. So I'm going to get another label. And then this one's going to be positioned right underneath here. I want to change the auto size on this one. To false. And I want to change the border style. And they like to do fixed single. I like to do fixed 3D. You can pick whichever one you want on there. But I like the fixed 3D because it gives the inset of the way it looks on there. And then the text is going to be empty. So I'm going to go ahead and go down here where text is and delete out the label 2 on there. And then I'm going to expand this out. There, okay. Now what we're going to do is put in 3 buttons. I'm going to put all 3 of them on here at the same time. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to double click on button 3 times. And then they're all up here. So I'm going to just bring them down and line them up. And notice these vertical and horizontal lines here that helps you get them lined up. try to eye it to get them in the right position. I could shrink this down some in there if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so the first button is going to be the Italian button. So when you click on it, I'm already down here in text, so I'm going to highlight that and put in Italian. Okay, then I'm going to scroll up and change the name of it to Italian button. Okay. Then I'm going to click on button 2. And since I'm already up here at name, I'm going to change it, and this is button 2 is the Spanish button. And then go down to where the text is and change it to Spanish. And then go over to the third button, and its text is going to be German. And its name is going to be German button. Okay, so all those are set up. Got everything set up on here now. So now what we want to do is create the click event handlers for each of the buttons. So each button is just going to have one line of code. So I'm going to double click on Italian. And I'm terrible with languages, so I'm not going to pronounce this, but this is all these are going to have, we're going to want to store this into our, before I do that, let me go back, and this is what show you how you can go back and forth. Let me go back over here, and I forgot we need to name this because we're actually using it in the code. Label 2 is not a good name for this. So we're going to rename this to translation label. There we go. So now I can go back to my code and just click on this tab up here, or I could double click on the Italian button. It would take me back in here also. And so we're going to put in here translation label, and then that's the object. Then the method for this, or the property for this, is text. And then notice the text pops up right away for me on there, and then equals, and then the Buenos dias. And then don't forget your semicolon. Okay, now the difference between methods and properties, besides what they are, but in the code, properties do not have parentheses after them. Properties do not have parameters that are used. Methods can and or cannot. So you notice up here the initial component is a method because it has a parentheses before and after it. Okay, the Italian button click event handler is a method, and you can see that it has parameters inside the parentheses. Text is not a method because it has no parentheses, so it recognizes it as being a property. And we're changing the property of the text button to Buenos dias. So I can go back over to my form, double click. Whoops, that was the wrong one. I was in the wrong language on that. Sorry. That was for the Spanish button. This is the Italian button, so this has to be Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Okay, and that needs to be, I must have hit I do that all the time with this touchpad. There, it goes inside the quotes there. Okay, so now we got that one set. So I'm going to go back over to my form and double click on the Spanish button and do the same thing. You could copy and paste. I'll show you that here. You can take all this down to here and copy and paste it into here, and then just put in what needs to go in here then is the Buenos dias. And then don't forget the semicolon at the end. And then we'll do the same thing for the German button. Double click on it. I can do my Control V to put that in there again. And then this one is the Guten Morgen. And then the semicolon at the end. Okay. Now, one thing that I like to do is look and make sure I don't have anything underlined in it, because the underline usually indicates that there's some kind of an error. I don't see anything in here, so I'm going to go ahead and run this. It will automatically save it for me. And then there's the form running. And let me make sure I got everything set up right on what we're doing here. And so I can click on the Italian, and there's the Buongiorno, whatever, however we pronounce that, the Spanish, and the German. I don't like the way this is formatted in here, so I'm going to X out and do one more change on it. I'm going to go back over to my form, click on my label here, and another thing that we can do with this on setting this up is we can do text align. It's right underneath the text there, and it's top left now. I can click on this down arrow and then pick the one that I want. I'm going to do middle center on this. So I'm going to run it again just to show you what it looks like. And then click on the, it's up here, there we go, Spanish, and now it's in the center there instead. Okay, so I hope you got something out of that. We're going to do another one here, the same video. It's going to be tutorial 2.4. I'm going to go ahead and close this solution. And this next one we're going to do is creating the flags application. So this tutorial, we're going to use picture boxes in order to put pictures on here of different flags. And then you click on the flag and it tells you what country it goes with. So in order to do this, you need to have the, and I'll get over here into where I was here, into Canvas, and show you that in the, and I'll put these will be in the area there. I'm working on all this stuff right now to get everything ready. But over here in the file section is the folder called source code. And in the source code are these zipped folders for each chapter. So in chapter 2, you'll find these flags. Okay, so and actually they may be, I'll have to check the C on there. Nope, that would be where they are there. So that's, you would download these and then unzip them to get the pictures that you need for that. So let's go back to this then. So we can get rid of this. I don't like this box here, like I said before. Okay, so we're going to start a new project. And this one we're going to call flags. So let me scroll down. Windows.net. Okay, the name of it, like I said, is going to be flags. Oops. I'll do the location first since I accidentally clicked in there. I didn't want to do. It defaulted because I deleted that all out of there, so I have to go in there and find this real quick. And I'm going to do a new folder for this for flags. Okay. Do this again. Okay, so I got a new folder in here, so I can change the name of it now to flags. And select that folder. Okay, so now the name of it up here that I want it to be, like I said, is flags. Okay, so now we're set on that. Okay, again, we don't need this big, so I'm going to reduce the size of my form here. And the thing I didn't do before on the other one, we'll do on this one, is change the text property here to flags. Okay. We're going to have an instructional label, and we're going to have an output label. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 labels on this to start off with and put them approximately in the right positions. So I'll just go here and double click twice on label. I have one up here at the top and one down below. It doesn't matter which order you put them on for label 1, label 2. Now I'll show you another little trick. If you hold down your control key, and once you have one selected, hold down your control key and select the other one. Got both selected, so now you can change some of the properties at the same time. So for example, I can change my auto size here to false on both of them at the same time. Okay. Now the border style and stuff is going to be different as is the text inside, so I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and resize this one out. I could have probably done both of them at the same size, but I'm going to just do this one here. Okay, let me see. So then what we want to do is change the text in here. And the text is going to be, click a flag to see the name of the country. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and reposition this down a little bit and then recenter this a little bit. There we go, something like that. Okay. The bottom one is what's going to be the country label, this one here. And I'm going to try to make it about the same size as the one up there. If I drag it out, you can see how it matches up with the edges. Okay. I have the auto size as false. I want to change the border style, but let's do the label first. So we're not going to have any label in here, so I'm going to delete that off of there. Now, when you do that, if you haven't changed the border style and you click off of the button, it's going to be hard to find, okay, because there's no border on it then. Okay. And I'm going to do the fix 3D again because that's what I like on mine. And we're going to change the font on this one, which we haven't done that yet. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and find font. So when I click on this, it's going to come up with this little box with 3 dots called an ellipse. And it'll open up another window. And what we want it to do, we're going to leave it the Microsoft Sans Serif, which you can change that if you want to over here. But we're going to do bold, and then we're going to change the size to 10. And then click on OK. And then again, I want to change the text align, so I'm going to scroll down here and change the text align right here to the middle center. Okay, so we got all that set up there. So now what we want to do is we need 3 picture boxes. So I'm going to go to Toolbox, going to find where it has picture box on here and double click on it 3 times. And then I'm going to reposition these in here in the middle. And they may not be lined up perfect and centered and everything, but they'll be okay on there. So on the picture boxes, the border style on all of them is going to be fixed single, and the size mode is going to be auto size. So we can do all of those at the same time by holding down the control key and clicking on the other 2. So like I said, the border style is fixed single. So we find border style. This one I'm going to do the fixed single like it asks. Fixed single. And then the size mode. So I got to go scroll down and find the size mode. There it is. And that's going to be the auto size. So that's everything we can do on those right now. So what we want to do now is be able to get the pictures in the boxes. So I'm going to click on this one. and we're going to do just a second. I'm thinking, okay, we need to get the image in there. So we come down here and find there's the image and click on the ellipse on this. And then you want to do local resource and import. Now, when you do this, you have to go to where you have your source code that I told you about getting off of the system. Okay, there's my source code folder. I'm going to open this up. Go very deep in here. Go to chapter 2, and in here you can see the flags. So the first one's going to be the France flag. So I want to scroll down a little bit to find France. There it is. There it is. Double click. Say OK, and there's the flag. Okay, so we're going to click on the next one, and this one is actually, this is supposed to be, I'm going to move these around here because France is supposed to be in the middle if we want to keep these the same. So I'll do that. Okay. So this one here is actually going to be the Finland flag. So I'm going to do the same thing though. I'm going to go to image, click on the ellipse, local resource, import, and this one's the Finland flag. So I'll double click on it, and then OK, and it goes in there. And then the last one is the Germany flag. Okay, so again, I'm going to do image, open this up, local resource, import, and then find the Germany flag, which is right there. Okay, and OK. Now, since we're going to use all this stuff in code, we need to change the names on all of these. So this is the Finland flag, so I'm going to change the name of it. And it's going to be Finland picture box. Okay, this is the France one, so it's going to be the France picture box. And then this is the Germany picture box. Okay. So we got all those in there. Okay. And then this is our country label. So that's what we want that to be. Country label. So we're ready. Now what we want to do is add the code that we need to for each of the picture boxes. So let me get to that here real quick. So I'm going to double click on my Finland picture box. Comes up with Finland picture box click event handler. And we're going to do in here, country label. Notice how it pops up on there for me. Dot text. And that's going to be equal to, and then quote marks, Finland, and quote semicolon. That's all we're going to put in there. So I'm going to go back over to my form design, double click on the France flag. So the France picture box, dot text. Oh, I don't know where that reset came in here, dot. I don't understand why text is not coming up on here. It's not listed in there. So let me go back over here and see if I did something wrong on here. That one is named France picture box, and it is a picture box. Okay, I don't think that I named two of these the same thing. This one is the Germany. And this one is Finland. Okay, so let me double click on this again. There it is in there, France picture box. Got text. It changes the reset text. I don't know why it's doing that. See if I can get rid of that off of here because I don't want that in here. Nope, it's not letting me do it. Okay, we're going to delete this off of here. France picture box dot. And it's not doing reset text, and that's not what I want to do. Oh, that's what I know. Okay. It's supposed to be the country label dot text, not the picture box. That's why it was messing up on me on there. Equals France. Okay. I like having mistakes in here every once in a while so you can see what I have to go through to figure out what they are so you have an idea. So I'm going to do the German box, which is the country label dot text equals Germany. Okay, we got it all set now. So let's run this and see what happens. Sometimes I look at something wrong and then it gets stuck in my head and I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong there. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so click on first flag. We got Finland, we got France, and we got Germany. So everything seemed to work great. Okay, so hopefully this worked out for you. I'm going to stop here. I think there's one more tutorial, but we're a little bit long on time here, so we'll do that one in the next video. Bye.